Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, which focuses on Vedic Astrology study from the perspective of your soul path, career, and relationships. These are the focus areas of this channel. If you're new to my channel, please consider sharing the content with your fellow astrology enthusiasts, leaving your comments below in case you need to share anything interesting you found in your chart, etc. If you are my listener on the podcast directories like Spotify, Apple, Podcast Addict, Pandora, and so on, welcome. Also, you might want to visit my YouTube channel, take screenshots of the chart displayed there so you can study alongside the chart, natal, Navamsha, D10, and so on and so forth. Also, for those listening on the podcast directory, you might want to take advantage of the Vedic Astrology Beginners course, which is available in the memberships area as a playlist on my channel. YouTube link is in the description box. You might want to visit that and take advantage of that. That is not being covered on the podcast directory. If you need a personal reading, do get in touch with me on the email, both on the podcast directory as well as on YouTube channel, and we can explore what's going on in your life and what you need some assistance or clarity with. You see, the entire purpose, as I see it, of Jyotish and Vedic Astrology is to get clarity in your mind about what's going on in different areas of your life, what your soul path is driving you towards in this lifetime, and where you can apply yourself to the best possible outcomes. Be it in any area of life, we all have different areas of life. Primarily, I focus on soul path, your life path, profession, career, job, business, etc., as well as intimate relationships. And all the podcasts here cover pretty much personality, relationships, and career as the determinants of how you want to engage with the rest of the world. We all are born in some way, some form in different societies. The whole idea is to best put yourself at use where you are happy doing what you're doing, you're content doing what you're doing, and you feel your life has a meaning and a purpose somewhere. We are just trying to unlock that using the tools of Vedic Astrology. Now let us begin to uncover something regarding your career path, what you might do, what you might be interested in as fields of work, job, or business. But here we will use the Artha houses, that is to say, the second house, the sixth house, and the 10th house. The three houses which one studies dominantly for career path, business, and so on. Because 2nd, 6th, and 10th houses determine, and the lords of those, whatever is going on in the 2nd house, whatever is going on in the 6th house and 10th house, determine pretty much what your inclination towards career or job or business would be like. 2nd house is your family and your earning wealth, how you earn your wealth. In terms of career, we are speaking here. 6th house stands for your daily routines. What you're doing is daily, because your job or business is pretty much part of a daily routine, isn't it? And 10th house as the success factors, the fame, recognition, and your appearance in the public world, in the world at large, out there, not in your home. Okay? These are the Artha houses, the means of earning a living. We will cover this, number 2, as per each rising sign, right from Aries through Pisces. We shall cover it because the lords of 2nd, 6th, and 10th houses change with every rising sign, isn't it? So we shall cover this. First, begin with the principles of each of the rising signs, cover those first. And then we shall move on to details of case studies, because case studies will reveal something more, obviously, like we just covered the Amatyakaraka series and case studies, isn't it? You have to ground your knowledge with studying in a chart, how it plays out in a chart, because chart has got millions of combinations. So we have to study with respect to case studies, and I shall cover this in the same style as Amatyakaraka, so you're not confused. Number 3, how lords of each of the above is playing out. 2nd house, 6th house, and 10th house, for every rising sign has some lord. Lord of 2nd, Lord of 6th, Lord of 10th. I shall cover how the principles of Lord of each of the above plays out, first as per rising signs in general, and then we shall go on to case studies, because case studies will give a combo. Number 4, in D1 or natal chart, as how it manifests in physical reality. This is the principle. Whatever is in your divisional chart must tally with the natal chart. That's the rule. Okay. So natal chart, since we have already covered this in detail, is always the manifestation of your physical reality. If you want to see something shows up or how it shows up in your physical reality, that's natal chart. So we shall cover that also in the case studies. In D10 or Dashamsha chart, divisional chart, which is also analyzed for career, we will consider this as what attributes one brings into one's career and later in life. Okay, just similar as D1 and D9, but now we are going to D10. And what is your internal approach towards your career, and whether career does change in one's life or not. We shall study that. Case studies I'm taking from Gen Z charts, random charts of all people born after the year 1998, both in D1 and D10. So this will be the underlying basis of how we'll study career in terms of Parashara system, not the Gemini now. We are not taking the Karakas. We are taking the houses of 2nd, 6th and 10th Lord, and we are studying it as per the Parashara system, the BPHS. You can even build in nakshatra later on into this if you want. Where is the 2nd Lord placed in which sign, house and nakshatra? This will be a little more detailed. But let's just begin with basics. Always best to go back to basics and evaluate, isn't it? So we'll study with that. And let's see where this journey takes us. Now let us look at the Artha Lords for Taurus Rising. First of all, rising sign itself says that these people may be intent on accumulation of resources throughout life, money, wealth, properties and so on. Okay, Taurus Rising. Now what is there in their Artha houses? The 2nd, 6th and the 10th as marked there on the screen. 2nd house is Gemini and Lord is Mercury. 6th Lord is Venus and the sign is Libra. And the 10th house is Aquarius, ruled by Rahu as well as Saturn. Now what happens in this particular case? First of all, let's look at basic signatures. All 3 signs are air signs. So everything has to do with mental energy and how it is calibrated through life, through their career path, isn't it? Because 3, 7 and 11 all are air signs. Also, Mercury, the Lord of the 2nd house, talks of speech, talks of communication, and therefore the Taurus, in order to accumulate resources, they use their speech, they must use their mental, intellectual capacity in order to gain wealth. So they can become very cunning manipulators, Taurus Rising. Why? Because Mercury is in Gemini, and Gemini is a lord of learning, a lord of intellectual learning, capacity, reasoning and logic, all of the mercurial stuff. But in Gemini, it looks for manipulation. They should be careful of that. 7th sign of Libra is in 6th house and ruled by Venus. So therefore, they look at everybody else in their daily routines as a source of their value system. Libra is your value system. So is 2nd house, value systems. So Taurus has to recalibrate through their career the value systems that they bring to the table. Because Libra is in 6th house for Taurus Rising, invariably they tend to have a lot of quarrels with their wife. We should avoid this as much as possible, because this is the karma you bring to the table. Venus, the Lord of Libra, wherever it is sitting in, will determine what career paths they might take. We shall see this further in case studies later on for each ascendant. For now, just remember Venus is the Lord in Libra in the 6th house for a Taurus Rising. So their interaction with their colleagues in job or business will be more towards how can I make money from this person. Libra is a rich Rashi, so they look for making money in all ways. Being ascendant, that's their main focus. That's what's going on in their head all the time for Taurus Rising. Now coming to the 10th house, it is Aquarius. Again, all action in the public life, in public image. What they define in success is what they have gained. They evaluate their status in career with respect to their bank accounts, with respect to what they hold as their assets. Because Aquarius is all about gains and income. See how this plays out in every ascendant. It's very interesting, isn't it? So the 10th house has Aquarius in it. Aquarius can also cheat and lie for every kind of gain. Wherever there is gain, they can lie about it. They can show off more than what they are actually due, because they want to gain that fame. Aquarius 10th house for fame. Aquarius sitting there. So in general, if you want to see the success factors in the type of careers for Taurus Ascendant, you must look both at Saturn placement and of Rahu placement, because both are ruling the particular house. Okay, so for Taurus Rising, to summarize, Mercury, Venus and Rahu and Saturn. So there are 4 points and planets you have to look at in order to see where this person is moving with the career, what kind of career will suit them, and even go on later to nakshatras if you feel that's more dominant, and see how that plays out. Now let's look at some characteristics further into the Taurus Rising. So how does the general characteristics for Taurus Rising play out? Let's see from the top. Taurus Rising disposition is very important in career. Most people think career is just working at a job or business and so on. A career is what you do in this world, what you contribute to. Essentially, that's what it comes down to, folks. So Taurus is steady, resource-oriented, values-driven. It seeks stability, material security and comfort. It's an accumulation resource. These natives are patient, grounded and capable of working consistently towards long-term goals, simply because it's a fixed sign. While slow to change, they are capable of doing great things once they are committed. Commitment is a big issue, isn't it? Like we saw in the previous line. Because of too much of movement of mental energy there in the second house, being Gemini, it's constantly restless. It's a dual sign. Moving into Libra, it matures in the 6th house. More persistent, more enduring. And Aquarius determines what they gain from it. But they are gaining mainly for resources. They bring practicality, sensual appreciation and strong sense of value to their careers. They are looking for values. That's what Taurus is looking for, being the traditional second sign. Now let's see the Lord of the houses. Second Lord is Mercury in Gemini. It's important for you to remember, if it's Mercury, it can be Virgo or Gemini, which are very different signatures. In Gemini, it's quite restless. So second Lord governs wealth, speech and family values. More of speech, I would say, because Mercury is the developmental sign. Brings intellect, adaptability and communication skills into career pursuits. So Taurus Rising will tend to use their mouthpiece, what they speak, as a means of influence to gain wealth. Their income is often tied to analytical ability, trade, networking and communication. So the mental energy, a raw form of mental energy, you might say. Somewhat immature, but that's what they grow through Libra in the 6th house, because 6th house matures through life. Mentally, Mercury makes them flexible, curious, often encouraging learning-based professions. Okay, whatever needs to be cultivated. Gemini is a growing sign. 3rd house grows through time. Emotionally, they feel secure when their voice and intellect are acknowledged as valuable. Very important line there. 6th house, Venus in Libra. This is not Venus in Taurus, Venus in Libra. That's what governs the 6th house. So you have to take both the Libra characteristics and Venus characteristics and how it plays in the 6th house. First of all, governs daily work, routines, competition and service. That's what they need to bring in a Libran fashion, which is diplomacy, creativity and people-oriented style. This is why Taurus Ascendant makes good business people, because they're diplomatic at work. They bring a lot of creativity into work because Libra is that sign. since we are talking only of careers here. This helps them build harmony in work environments, even in the face of opposition, because Libra is a balancing sign. It works for the benefit of others. This is why Saturn is exalted in Libra. You see how these things tie together. Mentally, Venus makes them skilled at managing relationships and aesthetics in their work. Why? Venus. Emotionally, they thrive when they can work in balanced, refined and cooperative environments. This is important for Taurus Ascendant people to know. Where would you thrive? Where you bring your energy of balance, where balance is called for, you can thrive there. Don't go to very competitive environments. It feels troubled there because your self, your soul is looking for balance, not for competition. 10th house lords for Taurus rising becomes Saturn and Rahu, Aquarius. So this governs recognition, public status and long-term career growth. That's the 10th house, typical 10th house. Saturn brings discipline, responsibility and structure here. Rahu adds ambition, innovation and unconventional edge. Even technology, all software. Everything on social media is basically a Rahu type of energy. Together, they push the Taurus rising native towards impactful careers that demand perseverance, but also innovation, because Rahu wants to innovate, change something. Mentally, this pairing brings a strategic thinking and ability to navigate complex organizational systems. Taurus rising can do very well in software industries, for example, information technology industries. This is an age of information or misinformation, whichever one. So Taurus rising will do well because it's ruled in the 10th house by Aquarius. Emotionally, they may feel pressure and restlessness until their career stabilizes, but long term they develop authority and influence. Let's see now how this play into the collection, because these three houses and their lords will play as a collective. So what is the collective play of these lords? Mercury, Venus, Saturn and Rahu combine intellect, diplomacy, discipline and innovation. All the aspects that we just saw. Intellect Mercury, diplomacy Libra and Venus, discipline in Saturn, innovation in Rahu. See, it's combined all the three. So you have to bring this for Taurus rising people. Wherever it is placed in the chart, you need to bring these elements into whatever you choose. That's what it says. This makes Taurus rising native with the following characteristics. Their attitude is steady and resource focused. Ascendant is Taurus, so they are always looking at resource. The world is a resource for them. With a practical outlook, yet capable of adapting through intellect and innovation. Even though it is a fixed sign, here comes the kicker. Even though it is a fixed sign, it is capable of adaptation. Why? Mercury, intellect in the 2nd house, and Rahu and Saturn, Aquarius in the 10th house. Characteristics: they can be patient, persistent. Taurus is a fixed sign. Values driven. Mercury they are using for the sake of getting the values. Socially graceful, strategic in career and career choices. They plan pretty well. Mental style, they can be rational, articulate. Libra, going into the 6th house, they can be very balancing and diplomat, able to merge creative and logical approaches. See, creativity comes from your Libra there, Venus as the lord of 6th house. At the same time, there is Mercury, logical approach. Emotional tone of Taurus rising at work will seek balance, Venus in the 6th house, Libra, harmony, recognition, and can feel restless until they achieve both stability and impact in career. This restlessness is brought about by Mercury, lord of 2nd house in Gemini. That's the restlessness factor. It's always looking around. Career outlook with this combination, Taurus rising individuals often, what careers can they choose? Again, these are generics. You have to go into nakshatra level and other things also. But let's see the general points here in this particular video. Excels in careers involving finance, trade, communication, diplomacy. Remember, all these first 4 factors are required in any kind of trade or business. Management, law, consulting, technology, or creative industries. I would put it more as technology and creative industries, since Saturn and Rahu are together and Venus rules the sixth house. That could be a more possibility here. They find success when they balance Mercury's intellect, Venus's harmony, and Saturn Rahu's drive for authority and ambition and innovation. Okay? They approach careers with long-term vision. Everything Aquarius is long-term fulfillment of goals, dreams, desires, building slowly and steadily towards influence and recognition. That's Taurus Rising general characteristics. We shall see more as we go along in the case studies. Because unless we ground it with case studies, this will all just be theory, isn't it? So I will see you in the next career characteristics. Meanwhile, if you find something like a Taurus Rising and you're large, you can leave it in the comment box or get in touch with me over email for a reading. Share this. You might require it. Your friends might require it. Your family members might require it. You never know who these kinds of things are helpful to. That's one thing I have seen as my channel operator. Take care, be safe.